Welcome to the Springfield Township Board of Trustees meeting. It is February 13th, 2018, about 5:30 p.m. Mr. Burning, may we please have the roll call?
Yes, Mr. Burning?
Present.
Ms. McFarland?
Present.
Mr. Harnlaw?
Present.
All the trustees are present.
This evening, we are privileged to have with us Forrest Money and his father, Drew. And Forrest is a Cub Scout. And Forrest, we would ask that you and your father come up here and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Forrest.
Yes.
Citizenship Award.
Okay.
Forrest is also working on a Citizenship Award, so this is really a great place for him to start.
Okay, and then next, we have a special recognition for Mr. Dan Furch here in Springfield Township. Dan has been the longest-serving volunteer that we know in the history of Springfield Township, and that's going back a long way. So a couple things I'd like to say about Dan. Dan Furch began volunteering his time to Springfield Township in 1976 when he was appointed to the Township Zoning Commission. He continued his service to the township by participating in the Police Department's Citizen Police Academy and Citizens on Patrol. He furthered his involvement in the Citizens Police Academy Association by volunteering his time with the annual golf outings, canned food drives, and other community events within the township. More recently, Dan served as a member of the township's Comprehensive Neighborhood Master Plan Committee, providing valuable input to assist in creating the blueprint for the township's future. Dan retired from the Township Zoning Commission after 40 years of service. He continues to be involved in the Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association and routinely volunteers his time for various community events. Dan is a tireless supporter of the township. His commitment to helping this community has not gone unnoticed, and many of these contributions will continue to benefit the township for many years to come. Dan, on behalf of the Springfield Township Board of Trustees and everyone in Springfield Township, I want to thank you for the many years of service to your community. It's residents like you that make Springfield Township a great place to live. Everybody, let's give Dan a round of applause. Dan, if you would come forward, we have a special presentation for you.
I'll reach it for you.
Dan, on behalf of the Springfield Township Board of Trustees, we would like to present you with this plaque in recognition of your 40 years of community service. It truly means a lot to all of us here in the township. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
And all the,
Anything you want to say, Dan?
well, in 40 years, I was a young man.
Yes.
We're all young men. Yeah, weren't we? Definitely has privilege in serving for the township. We've accomplished a lot, and I think we're going to continue accomplishing a lot through the great leaderships that we have here in the police department and fire department. So thank you, and thank you for the recognition.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Jenny, you want to come up?
She's the one that had to put up with me gone. Of course, she probably pushed him out the door. It was like, wow.
Very good. Thanks, Dan. All right, thank you.
I thought I did. Sorry.
Okay, moving on with our agenda this evening. The next thing that we have is approval of minutes from our regular meeting on January the 9th, 2018, and our regular work session on January 23rd, 2018. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, Mr. Burning, do we have a financial report this evening?
Yes, we do. For the month ending 1/31/2018, the township expenditures were $1,660,620.13, and receipts were $384,935.88. The ending cash balance of $17,662,867.13 includes obligations for expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvement projects, and investment. What I request is a motion to approve the receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures, updated and current revenues and reports for the period ending 1/31/2018. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And I just want everyone to know that financial reports are available for viewing at the administration offices weekdays during regular business hours or 24/7 on our website. That's all I have, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Next, moving on to departmental action and discussion items. Mr. Hennenkamp, do we have a report?
We do, Mr. Honorlaw, a very short one, thankfully. Just two action items. The first is a request to revise the rates that we charge for the Grove Event Center. These rates were reviewed by our director, Tom Schneider, with Jack Phelps from the Perfect Wedding Guide to give us some sort of a sense of where the market is, and we believe our rates are actually slightly underpriced. So I know the board has a copy of the various changes. There's actually 4 different changes being proposed, and just need a motion from the board to authorize those changes to be made.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then the only other action item that I have tonight is, as the board's aware, this evening we had 2 public hearings that were scheduled. These were on 2 different road improvement projects, one for the Ranch Hill, Montoro, Pecora project, and then the other for the Lakeside Park project. Both of these public hearings were essentially for the same purpose, different neighborhoods, but they were to consider estimated assessments. It's one of the steps that we have to go through. It's actually kind of the final step that we go through in the process. And the hearings are set up for an opportunity for someone who has a concern or an objection to the way the assessments are being proposed. It's sort of an equalization hearing, as we've talked about previous. Unfortunately, the ORC requires that we advertise 2 consecutive weeks, and we discovered just today that one of those advertisements did not take place. So we decided to basically cancel the public hearings. I was here to address a few folks that did show up, and at this point need the board to reschedule those dates. I would propose that we do those next month at 4:45 for the Rancho project on March the 13th, and at 5 p.m. for the Lakeside Park. So essentially the same thing we were going to do tonight. We just reschedule them for that date, but just need a motion to do so, and we will make sure that we get the advertisements out.
And that date would be
3/13.
3/13, okay.
3:13. It's our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Right. Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meetings are rescheduled.
And then the only other meeting date that we may want to schedule, I don't think we've done this formally, but it's been our practice in the past years to conduct a public hearing on the same evening when the board considers adoption of our permanent appropriations. So keeping with the format, I would recommend that we do the same thing. That public hearing will be on the same night on March the 13th, and we could schedule that right at the beginning of our meeting, so make that at 5:30 p.m. If that's when the board would like to do it.
I think that makes sense. The way
Yes.
we've done it in the past, I believe.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
So move.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
And then under personnel update, did accept 2 resignations in our fire department. All of our activity this month was in fire, and that is probably not going to be, it's probably going to be a trend we're going to see for some time, but it did accept the resignation of Kurt Kirchhoff, who's a part-time paramedic firefighter, effective date of January the 19th, and then also Ian Grubb, who's a part-time paramedic firefighter, his effective date, same, January the 19th of this year. I am happy to report that we have completed the process and hired 2 full-time firefighters. Ben Bro, who has been a part-timer with us, will be moving to full-time, effective date of February the 12th, and also Cody Haig, who is also a part-time firefighter with us, who will be joining us as a full-time firefighter-paramedic, both of them firefighter paramedics, and the same date, February 12th. So that's part of the equation, but as we've talked at length during our budget work session, the staffing in the fire department and just what's happening really, I guess, more regionally, just statewide or even around the country, is medics and firefighters continue to be in demand and in short supply. This is a issue we're going to be dealing with, so this is step 1 to trying to solve that equation. So, Kim, I'd ask maybe if you would bring the board up to date on community events and programs.
Thank you. This weekend, we've got our daddy-daughter dance. It's 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. On March the 1st is our annual State of the Township Community Address. That is at 6:30 p.m. On March the 11th, Arts Connect is partnering with the City of Wyoming and doing a partner program, a family program called Pirate School. It's at their Civic Center on March the 11th. And then on March the 19th, we have the Mom Prom, which is already sold out.
Wow,
Great.
that's fantastic.
That is.
Kim, the board has copies of the departmental and activity reports, so unless there's any questions, that is all I have.
All right, thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Next, moving on to our resolutions this evening. We have resolution number 11, 2018, authorizing the private sale of junk motor vehicles which were not titled to the township pursuant to revised code section 4513.61 and revised code section 4513.62, and which are not needed or unfit for use in any township department. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it?
Mr. Burning?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Honorlaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next, we have Resolution Number 12, 2018, declaring nuisances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 505.87 at various listed properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it?
Mr. Burning?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next, we have Resolution Number 13, 2018, declaring motor vehicles located on public or private property in Springfield Township, Hamilton County, Ohio, to be junk motor vehicles pursuant to Revised Code Section 505.173 and ordering the removal of such vehicles pursuant to Resolution Number 80, 2012, and Revised Code Section 505.871. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it?
Mr. Burning?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Do we have any old business before the board this evening?
I do not.
I don't know if it's old business, but the Hamilton County Commissioners had their State of the County meeting, and a lot of the issues that they discussed related to both the city, but I focused mainly on the county. And what they did was they reviewed from a year ago what the outstanding issues and concerns were. So I just extrapolated those things that were applicable to the county. So we all know about MSD, and their goal was to try to clean up the mess. Budget stability, which everyone is trying to deal with as well, no matter if you're in the city or the county. And a crime lab location, and also 911 emergency communications. And the big issues around opiates and drugs, and how they can work with the county teams as well as the city teams to try to provide some intervention and get some money to help relieve some of the stress off of our fire department, police department. And then they also talked about the Western Hills Viaduct. And I don't know how many of you all ever travel across that viaduct, but it's old, it's a historical building, it's been there forever. And so finally, some of their achievements were, after 45 years, they were finally able to strike a deal with MSD and as we transition in the county, so there's still yet work to be done. And also, they were able to improve the emergency dispatch communications without an increase, because there had been a discussion about an increase in perhaps property transfer tax, and so they were able to do that without an increase in property transfer taxes, which I think is phenomenal that they were able to do that. And as we all know, the Heron Task Force, all of us in this room know of someone, or all of us who are, employed here, we've had some interaction with situations and incidents in the, as we do our daily work with someone who has overdosed. I know I had an opportunity, didn't even realize it until it happened. I was in the front of a car, in the back of a car, where a guy overdosed, and he crisscrossed across all 5 lanes of cross county, 275 coming over, and I had not witnessed anything like that in my life. And thanks to our chief, both of our chief, police and the fire chief, kind of educated, or as I would say, educated me about, these are things that they're dealing with every day, but for me to see that was rather interesting for me, and I just want to commend all of our departments of how we're dealing with that. And at the county, they put some really critical policies together to try to look at what they can do to meet the challenge. It's not going to just go away, and it's not going to go away overnight. So I think that was something really, I thought, profound, and we continue to work with that at a county level. And then the thing that has a lot of impact on us here in the township is they also looked at development in the neighborhoods. And in the neighborhoods not only includes the city, but also includes the county. So we've had some relationships with their land bank programs, so they want to continue. And Chris has done a marvelous job in making sure, and you too, Joe, making sure that we get those opportunities to address those homes or areas or empty lots, to look at what we can do to make our township much more attractive, and also provide stability, and not have old houses, just sitting there with all bad, and we've worked out a lot of good opportunities to demolish some of those homes in some of our neighborhoods. So they're going to continue to work with us in the land bank program, looking for different funding and loan funds to help us continue to improve the community and also eliminate blight in our neighborhoods, which we've done, I think, a very good job there. So those were the things that just stuck out at me as they were discussing what some of the goals were going to be for the next year, 2018 and 2019. So I found it very interesting.
Okay, very good, Gwen. We appreciate that update. Is there any other old business before the board? Any new business?
I have none.
Do we have anyone here? The next part of our meeting is citizens' participation. Is there anyone here that would like to come up to the podium and address the board? If they do, we would ask that you state your name and address for the record. Is there anyone that would like to address the board this evening? It appears that we don't have any takers this evening. With that, do we have any other business before the board?
I have none.
No, sir.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do we have such a motion?
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Meeting's adjourned. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening.